There are 4 words wealthy parents say to their kids quietly, constantly, that your parents almost certainly never said to you. And that single gap does more to keep their children rich than talent, luck, or work ethic ever will. You feel the absence of those words every time. You swear you'll save this month, and you break the promise by Tuesday on $34 you won't remember by morning. You blamed your willpower. That's the lie. And you didn't invent it. It was taught deliberately inside homes that never once had to test it. Stay and you'll hear the 4 words. And why not being told them is quietly deciding who ends up broke. Before we get to them, start with you. Think about how money actually feels in your body. Not the math, the feeling. For a lot of people, it's a low, constant tightness. Every purchase carries a little static of dread. Now meet someone exactly like you. Let's call him Sam. Sam grew up in a house where money was never discussed calmly. It was discussed at raised volume late at night through a closed door. Sam learned before he could name it that money is the thing that disappears. So Sam grew up guarding it, flinching at every expense. And here's the cruel part. That flinch, the one that looks like weakness, is written into the human brain. In 1979, psychologists Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky showed we don't weigh losses and gains equally. Losing hurts far more than an equal win feels good. Later estimates put it at roughly twice as heavy. They called it loss aversion. For a kid who grew up with plenty, that fear stays quiet. For Sam, it runs the whole show. Every dollar out feels like a wound, but 3 houses down, another child was being trained in the exact opposite direction. And that's where the lie begins. Come back to you for a second. Somewhere along the way, you absorbed a story. That the people who get rich are simply better at resisting themselves, stronger, more disciplined. You've probably heard of the experiment behind that story. The marshmallow test. In the early 1970s, psychologist Walter Mischel sat young children in front of a treat and told them, wait, and you'll get 2. Take it now and you get 1. The kids who waited, the story goes, grew up more successful. Case closed. Discipline is destiny. Sam saw that story on his phone years later and felt the verdict land. I would have grabbed it, he thought. That's why I am the way I am. Except in 2018, a team led by Tyler Watts rebuilt the study with more than 900 children, about 10 times the original. And the famous willpower effect nearly collapsed. Once they accounted for the child's family background, income, a parent's education, the home itself, the link between waiting and later success was cut by roughly 2/3. The discipline everyone worshipped was mostly something else, wearing discipline's clothes, which raises a stranger question. If the waiting kids weren't simply stronger, what were they actually doing? This is the part that rearranges everything. So stay with you for a moment because it's about to explain a choice you've made 100 times. In 2013, a researcher named Celeste Kidd ran the marshmallow test again. But she changed one thing first. Before the treat, she made the room either reliable or unreliable. In one version, an adult promised the child better art supplies than delivered. In the other, the adult promised and came back empty-handed. Then came the marshmallow. The children who had learned the room was reliable waited an average of 12 minutes. The children who had learned it wasn't waited barely 3. 9 of the 14 kids in the reliable room held out the whole time. In the unreliable room, 1. Read that again. The impatient children weren't weak. They were right. In their experience, a promised second marshmallow doesn't come. So eating the sure thing now was the smart move. Waiting was never about self-control. It was about trust. And Sam, flinching over every dollar, had simply learned correctly that in his world the second marshmallow rarely arrives, and trust in the future is something money buys silently years before a child can spell it. Now the hardest turn. And again, it's about you on your worst money day. Picture the end of a month where the balance hovered near zero. You sat down to finally budget, to be responsible, and your mind just wouldn't work. You couldn't think straight. You called it laziness. It wasn't. In 2013, economists Sendil Mullainathan and Eldar Shafir with Anandi Mani and Jiaying Zhao tested 464 sugarcane farmers in India, people who are cash poor before harvest and cash rich after, earning most of their yearly income in a single payout. Same farmers, same brains, months apart. Before harvest, when money was tight, their performance on reasoning tests dropped by the equivalent of about 13 IQ points, roughly a full night of lost sleep purely from the mental weight of scarcity. Sit with what that means. Scarcity doesn't only tempt you, it taxes the exact mental muscle that discipline runs on. So the person with the least money is asked to show the most self-control. Using a mind the shortage itself is quietly draining. That's the trap Sam was living in. And it's the trap the lie is built to hide. So here are the 4 words wealthy parents say. Not work hard, not even save. They're quieter than that. You are in control. They can afford to say it because their world made it true. Reliable rooms. Second marshmallows that always came. A safety net thick enough that waiting was never a gamble. Their discipline wasn't the cause of their security, it was the product of it. And that means the thing you've called your greatest flaw was never a flaw at all. Your lack of discipline was a rational response to an unreliable world. You were never broken, which is the part that hands it back to you. Build one reliable room, one small buffer, one promise to yourself you actually keep. And the willpower you were told you lacked starts to appear on its own, because it was always downstream of safety, never upstream of it. If this changed how you see your own money habits, watch the next one. You don't have money habits, you have your parents. It's the other half of this story, and it's in the Money Psychology playlist below. And tell me this in the comments. Is discipline really a virtue or just a luxury we hand to the people who could always afford it?